But for now, though, I just want us to cross over to the Intercontinental, where an event by the Media Council of Kenya, as you can see, is underway. Tom Wolf is currently speaking. He is a lead researcher with IPSAS. Let's just listen in to him.
Because of the importance of the media in this country and the political drama of what happened at Uhuru Park on the 30th of January, we had decided to load some of these questions anyway. So when Media Council came to us and said, this is our agenda, this is what we want, we're aiming for International Press Freedom Day and so on, we decided that we would share the ownership with them of the data. So we gave them a good discount, and we said, until you have your own release and function, Ipsos will not release anything.
All right, we'll be going back there. We seem to have an issue there with the sound, but we'll be going there shortly. That is an event by the Media Council of Kenya, just taking stock of the situation with regard to independence of the media in Kenya. I understand that we're okay now. Let's go back there and listen in.
So have the age, of course, of all our respondents, the gender, their religious affiliation, their political leanings, and so on and so forth. So if there are any of you who want to dig deeper into the data, for example, this second or third to the last slide that David showed, 36% of Kenyans supporting the shut-off of the media and 54% opposing it. Who actually are these people? What can we understand better about Kenyan society by finding out the collective identities of people who take one side or the other on a particular issue of national importance or drama? So if for your research or academic or more detailed journalistic media interests, you would like to dig deeper and extract more analysis from the data you've seen today, and there were some other questions we didn't have time, please contact the Media Council as the first owner of the data. And if they don't have the time and they would like to kick you over to us, we could share that data with you, because they're actually, you've just seen the top line. You've seen the head of the whale above the waterline, but most of the whale's body is underneath the water. So feel free to dig deeper, interrogate the data, criticize us where we've gone wrong or we've left some things out. And I'll just end with one example of that. When we were asking these people about how they felt about the shut-off, how different would these numbers have been if...
All right, so that is Tom Wolf, who's a lead researcher at IPSOS. They have, of course, released a report, and we'll be speaking to our Mark Namaswa in a few minutes to tell us more about it. But the coverage of the arrival of NRM self-declared general. All right. I beg your pardon, the coverage of the arrival of the NRM self-declared General Miguna rejuvenated discussion on media freedom and the horrible assault on journalists, now receiving both local and international condemnation. And as KTN News' Francis Ontoma now tells us, the Media Council of Kenya also condemned the harassment. Take a look.
Joel, do not push him, sir. You are live on KTN News.
Yes. And this is the arrival of the self-proclaimed NRM General Miguna was certainly bound to ruffle feathers within some state circles, and for many media houses, this was an absolute top story. At Kenya's pioneer 24-hour news channel KTN News, experienced reporter Sophia Wanuna was picked on the beat together with senior cameraman Kirera Magana. And as they prepared to set out, it turned out this was going to be an assignment of a kind.
So they don't want to be filmed, and of course they're saying shut that down. So they start pushing us back. I mean, like, when you're on air, of course you don't immediately stop. That's not normal coverage. You continue to speak, of course, as you obey their orders. But the unfortunate part is they kept pushing us back and using force, and that is where initially our colleague from Citizen, Leto, was clobbered.
The horrible experience at the hand of the men in blue, ultimately stealing the thunder even from the main subject of the day. Some journalists were badly hurt during the coverage as crucial production equipment was destroyed. This was chilling, but this journalist stood up to the police with a bold face.
We are the eyes and ears of Kenyans. Kenyans are not at the JKIA watching and witnessing all these events, so they get to see what's happening. These are national interest matter, so that when we are barred from covering it, you know, it is Kenyans being hindered that opportunity to witness the same.
Mbona tunaambiwa tusipige picha tena? Kwa nini tusipige picha? Na tulikuwa tumealikwa hapo, tumefanya kutoka asubuhi mpaka hiyo masaa. Kazi lazima itafanyika.
Perhaps the biggest casualty of the nightfall horror was Citizen TV's political affairs reporter Stephen Leto and Robert Gishira of NTV. Leto was clobbered and had to abandon his work altogether and was rushed to Nairobi Hospital for treatment. KTN News traced him at his home where he's still recuperating, and although physically weakened by the ordeal, his musings tell of a journalist still not yet done.
What happened to us as journalists, and to me particularly last night, was uncalled for. It was really, something that was backward, and you can only feel that the gains that the media had made have started, being, eroded.
In Kenya, although media freedom and access to information is guaranteed in Articles 34 and 35 of the Constitution, the country is doing abysmally, ranking among countries whose media freedom status is largely violated. In a global index report, the Economist Intelligence Unit, Central African Republic, and Lebanon.
What happened at the airport yesterday is regrettable, and those responsible should be punished.
Vikosi vyetu vya usalama vivyo vinatumiwa vibaya kuwagandamiza watu, hasa wanahabari. Hiyo ni jambo la kusikitisha sana.
Hata kama wanafanya kazi ni kuzingatia, na hata sisi tupo kazini, na si kuona maana ya wao kudhalilishwa hata kufikia kuchapwa.
Early February, Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i ordered the closure of 3 TV stations, NTV, Citizen TV, and KTN News, in connection to the controversial swearing in of NASA leader Raila Odinga. The state branded the media as conspirators to the ceremony.
Over the years, reporting in conflict zones has left journalists treading a fine line between safety and freedom of the speech. And it's no doubt that events of yesterday have left Kenya perusing the ugly pages of media violation. Francis Ontomwa, KTN News, Nairobi.
All right.